All right, so today we're going to talk about another poem. This is A Walk by Maria Rilke. I don't know if you say his middle name like Maria or Maria. I don't know. I don't speak German, unfortunately, but this is allpoetry.com. Very good website. I've been checking out some of their stuff recently, but this is A Walk. My eyes already touch the sunny hill, going far beyond the road I have begun. So we are grasped by what we cannot grasp. It has an inner light even from a distance, and changes us, even if we do not reach it, into something else which hardly sensing it, we already are. A gesture waves us on, answering our own wave. What we feel is the wind in our faces. And this is a tremendous short poem, and I'm sure you already know what it's about, but we're going to go in depth and talk about its essence and get to the root of it and try to understand what Rilke is saying here. My eyes already touch the sunny hill. He's looking out into the distance, going far beyond the road I've begun. He's on a walk. If you've never experienced this kind of feeling on a walk, I really feel bad for you because there's this Nietzsche idea. There's a weird connection between Rilke and Nietzsche. I'll tell you guys in a second, but um, there's this Nietzsche idea where there's no good idea that didn't come from a walk, and I truly agree with that. Is that when you return to nature, when you go on a hike, when you go away from the world and you kind of forget about things, and then you return with a sense of hope. You return with a sense of awe, a sense of creativity and imagination that is unlike anything else you've ever experienced. And there's just something to it. There's something beyond what I can hope to explain that hopefully you try for yourself. Um, the connection between Rilke and Nietzsche that's interesting is Rilke's one of his most famous works is the Book of Hours, which is just a collection of poems that he wasn't originally going to publish. And the woman that edited it and the woman that inspired it actually inspired those books Zarathustra, which is seen as Nietzsche's best work. They both had some, as Will Smith's wife would say, entanglements with this woman, Salome. Very interesting figure. I need to look more into her, but that's the connection there. But anyway, we'll get back into the poem. So we are grasped by what we cannot grasp. Think of Kierkegaard's leap of faith or Kierkegaard's night of faith. What this is really saying is that there's a knowing without knowing. Can you explain the nature of the infinite or can you sense it? That's really what it's saying is that there's some sort of transcendental experience, that there's some sort of experience that's beyond what we can normally feel, that we have a gut feeling, we have a knowing, we just understand this without having to prove it, and it's that sort of thing. It has an inner light even from a distance. Think of think of like a lighthouse or something emanating, something you could just it's not even necessarily something physically that you can see, it's something you can sense, it's something you know in your heart. It's a gut feeling. Again, he's reiterating this idea that it's not necessarily there in front of you, but it's there in your heart. It's something emanates from it, but you can't quite explain what it is, but you know it's there. And changes us even if we don't reach it. Um, to me, this really means that you see something and you aspire to embrace that, but even in falling short of that, you express something beautiful. So think of like the Gothic churches or the Renaissance paintings or really just any good art in general. I'm not talking about like the expressionist art or the modern art. I don't really like modern art. I mean, I guess there's something for everybody, but there's just something to me about perfect forms and really finely done geometry mixed with expression of forms and figures and just that really just inspires me. But think of those types of works. Think of what was inspiring those people. They were seeing a divine image. They were seeing something that was beyond the expressible, and in their pursuit of that, they came up with something beautiful. And that's what Rilke is saying is that more or less God expresses himself through us, and through that experience, we can impart into the world something tremendous and something beautiful, into something else which hardly sensing it, we already are. Um, there's this idea that you're already that which you wish to be. And what I mean by this is that before you get any sort of external accomplishments, you already are the person that's capable of doing that thing. You have to start somewhere. And that somewhere is always with your thoughts, with your ideas, with your capacity, and then you go out into the world and carry it out. So think of yourself or think of people in general as a ball of potential that we can slowly transform into something else. And that's really what Rilke is saying is that we are so much more capable than we really think we are. And it's only through it aspiring to be like this mythic or perfect image that he's somewhat crafting. He's being very careful here because he's not saying Jesus. He's not saying a set religion. I think Rilke is somewhat I don't know the correct word here. He's acknowledging God but not giving a face to it. He's I think of people that say, "Oh, the universe, oh this." It reminds me a lot of what Rumi writes about in a certain way and what Khalil Gibran writes about as well. Gesture waves us on, answering our own wave, but what we feel is the wind in our faces. A gesture waves us on, answering our own wave, but what we feel is the wind in our faces. And I think this is the perfect way to end it because it's it's clear that there's not really this poem isn't about like God coming down and giving you a sign that what you're doing is the right thing or some huge experience where it absolutely changes your life. No, this guy is on a walk and he feels the wind and he feels it come through him and in that sensation he knows what he's doing is right. In that sensation he gets closer to the person he wants to be. And there's something so profound about this. This is really just him kind of describing my daily walk and it's hilarious because I feel like my neighbors see me walking, they see me going around the neighborhood, or I tell people I went on a walk for 2 hours or 3 hours, whatever. And they're like, "Why'd you do that?" Well, it's because I'm in deep thought. It's because I'm thinking about life. I'm thinking about things. I'm thinking about the person who I am and the mistakes I've made and what direction I want to go and what I would be doing if I was unbounded by constrictions. And it's perfectly encapsulated in this really, really short poem here. And there's something about Rilke where he's able to say so much with so little. And, it's little poems like this that really make me want to read German so that I could read this in the original language because I really promise you that you miss so much in translation. And perhaps that's something I do in the future. Perhaps it's something I do when I set my mind to it and devote my attention to it. Right now is not the time, but yeah, at some point I will be reading Rilke in his original language, probably Goethe as well. Um, Pretty sure Jung wrote in German too. Nietzsche would be fun to read in German as well, but I'm sure it'd be far more aggressive than it is in English. But anyway, with that said, we're gonna continue to go through these poems. We're gonna continue to go through these ideas, and yeah, I think this is a nice little fun way to talk to you guys and get some ideas across. So, yeah, with that said, have a good rest of your day. Peace out. I will catch you in the next one.